Shawn Porter versus Errol Spence. I just seen the press conference. Errol Spence looked confident. Shawn Porter, he seemed confident, but everything he says is not really confidence. I feel like everything he's saying is rehearsed. Shawn Porter knows he's gonna lose this fight, and I'm not a fan of the energy that Shawn Porter is giving. I've seen a lot of Shawn Porter fights. Shawn Porter look serious. He looks like he's gonna take a guy head off. Like, go back and look at the Shawn Porter versus Ugas fight. Look at the type of energy Shawn Porter had. I just watched the interview. Shawn Porter said he envisioned a fight with him and Errol Spence, and his heart was racing. What is this clown talking about? What is this clown talking about? What do you mean your heart is racing? That tells you right there Shawn Porter's already nervous going into a fight with Errol Spence Jr. The guy said his heart is freaking racing, guys. Why is your heart racing against Errol Spence? He's a regular human being like you. And then he says my heart racing, but I see myself getting my hand raised. That right there tells you Shawn Porter's selling his belt, man. If Shawn Porter goes in there and doesn't take this fight to Errol Spence, he's selling his belt. He's giving. You might as well just take the belt off and give it to Errol Spence. And you guys know I'm not the biggest Errol Spence fan, but Shawn Porter, I'm hoping at least he gets to see 12 rounds. If he doesn't, he's 100% selling himself. If he makes it to 12 rounds, that shows you that he really wanted to win the fight. Because he doesn't have the best defense in the world. So in order to make it to 12 rounds, he would have to put up a good fight. You know, Mikey Garcia moved up 2 weight classes and made it to 12 rounds. You can't make it to 12 with Errol Spence? If Shawn Porter can't make it to 12 with Errol Spence Jr., Shawn Porter, he's in the wrong weight class, man. He need to go down to 140 and compete at 140. He don't belong at 147. First of all, the guy's a midget. He shouldn't be up there fighting these bigger guys. He needs to eat healthier, get on a diet, and fight smaller guys. Guys his height. He's not a natural welterweight. He should be down at 140, 135, beating up on those guys. But he wants to be at 147 because he want to eat too much. You know, his body frame is not a 147 body frame. Do you see the size advantage when he stands next to Errol Spence? Errol Spence continued to fight these midgets. Errol Spence continued to fight these midgets, man. He's fighting Shawn Porter. Like, do you see how small Shawn Porter? The guy looks like he's 5'6" at the most. 5'6", 5'5". Errol Spence towers Shawn Porter by at least 4 inches. At least 4 inches. He's 4 inches taller and he's bigger than the guy. But the fact that Shawn Porter is out here saying his heart is racing, thinking about Errol Spence fight and the outcome, it rubs me the wrong way. It sends a bad message to me. It tells me that Shawn Porter, in his head, knows he's gonna lose this fight. And also, I noticed about this press conference. Shawn Porter was saying that Shawn Porter had the nerve to say after he beat Errol Spence, he gets to fight Manny Pacquiao to see who's the best in the world. But he never mentions Terrence Crawford. I have to find an interview. I remember this interview where Shawn Porter said he has no interest in fighting Terrence Crawford. Just like Keith Thurman said, what is wrong with these guys and their fear for Crawford? What is wrong with these guys and their fear for Crawford? Errol Spence is willing to fight anybody but Crawford. Shawn Porter is willing to fight anybody but Crawford. Keith Thurman is willing to fight anybody but Crawford. Manny Pacquiao is willing to fight anybody but Crawford. What is it with Crawford? Is he really that good? I guess that's why he's pound for pound the #1 fighter in the world. These guys will fight anybody. Errol Spence will even move up in weight to fight Canelo. Errol Spence himself said he will move up in weight to fight Canelo Alvarez. But he won't stay in his own weight class and fight Terrence Crawford. Crawford is the only guy religiously calling him out. Shawn Porter, I have to find an interview. I'm going to do a video of that when Shawn Porter said it. And I'm going to do a video when Keith Thurman said it. They both said, I repeat, I have no interest in fighting Terrence Crawford. Shawn Porter and Keith Thurman both said it just like that. They have no interest in fighting Terrence Crawford. They'll fight Errol Spence. Well, Keith Thurman ducked Errol Spence for years. Shawn Porter, he'll fight Errol Spence because the walls has caved in on him and he has nowhere to run. And PBC have to make these unification fight because Crawford's calling out Spence. They want to cash Spence out. PBC wants to cash Spence out. So they want Spence to make as much money as he can make before they throw him in there with a dog like Crawford, because they know if he loses to Crawford, they don't have all the belts at welterweight and they don't have their cash cow. So they're willing to feed these guys to Errol Spence before they put him against a real dog like Crawford, an undefeated fighter. They're willing to put Spence against all these guys. They're willing to put Spence against all these guys that don't stand a chance against Spence, because Spence, he has the size advantage. He has the reach. He's an Olympian, so he has the experience as well. But the only place where he lacks experience is at the championship level, because he's only been a champion one time. But overall, he has the size on these guys that he's fighting because they're midgets. He has the size over these guys because they're midgets. You know, the only undefeated champion he fought was Mike Garcia. And that's embarrassing to say because Mike Garcia had to go up 2 weight classes to fight him. That's embarrassing. Why didn't he fight? Why can't he